very much. Excellency, the Ambassador of the European Union to Sierra Leone, His Excellency, Mr. Conde, Honorable Ministers here present, of course, my Honorable Minister of Gender. Good morning, ma'am. The European Union delegation in Sierra Leone. Barefoot women solar engineers of Sierra Leone. Good morning.
Good morning.
Members of the civil society organizations, Barefoot Power Women and African private sectors, head of financial service providers, members of the court estate, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It has been a year already, and what a year it has been. As the First Lady of the Republic of Sierra Leone, I am the primary cheerleader for His Excellency's vision. I identify closely with providing safe space in schools for girls so that they do not feel threatened or demotivated to attend school. My office has campaigned at various international fora for women to get equal access to health care, especially for the diseases such as cancer that seriously affects them. Our international advocacy includes when Mark Foundation and Tata offer to train oncology nurses and doctors for us in Sierra Leone. We have also submitted the first blueprint for a comprehensive diagnosis, oncology and healthcare hospital to the government. I have campaigned strongly against early child marriage. Girls must be given an opportunity to stay in school and develop themselves just like boys. In December last year, I was joined by First Ladies from across the region in one voice. We launched a public Hands Off Our Girls campaign against sexual exploitation and other forms of gender-based violence, and to also call for the protection of girls. I have since then strongly supported the National Declaration on Rape and Sexual Violence. But we have an even bigger problem in Sierra Leone, and that is poverty. The majority of Sierra Leoneans who are the poorest are women. We must, as a nation, provide them with the opportunity to make livable income. The international community has set what they refer to as Sustainable Development Goal, SDGs. The goal is to ensure that women, as well as men, get a chance to live decent lives and rid themselves of poverty. One of those goals, SDG 7, is why we are here today, providing our citizens with affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy. It's a key development goal because the multiplier effect this will have for our development as a nation. Statistics shows that about 5 million out of 7 million Sierra Leoneans, mainly in the rural area, do not have access to reliable, sustainable, and modern energy. Of the 5 million, about 70% of those are women and children. The majority of people use fossil fuel sources, firewood, and charcoal for cooking and heating water. For lighting, they use kerosene or other heavy carbon fuels. Long-term exposure to the smoke and fumes lead to serious respiratory disease and infections in women, more so in pregnant women and babies and children. It could also lead to possible cataracts and blindness, and it will have other adverse health effects on pregnant women and young babies. Besides, fossil fuel sources, firewood and charcoal leads to the clearing of forests and bushes, and this is not an environmental friendly or sustainable practice. I need not emphasize that women and children are the great majority of those who collect the firewood and charcoal, sleep and study next to kerosene lanterns, and fetch water from streams and rivers that could be infected or unfit for drinking, cooking, or other household chores. So our challenge as a country is to work to give those women alternative sources of income. Even when they farm or grow vegetable or are fish retailers, we must give them additional income by providing opportunities for them. We should provide women and children, particularly with alternative energy sources, for cooking, heating, and lighting their homes, and eliminate exposure to smoke and fumes from fossil fuel sources. We can avoid unnecessary exposure to water and airborne illnesses and avoid subjecting women to back-breaking work. The government's medium-term National Development Plan 2019 to 2023 is very clear on its goals on inclusive development and eradicating poverty. At the United Nations last year, His Excellency the President invited both our development partners and private companies to invest in Sierra Leone's vast renewable energy sources. Renewable energy sources are clean and they are affordable, and they can afford women a special opportunity to start up small enterprises. So I am pleased to associate myself with these women increasing sustainable energy access and the use of WISE today, because it aligns closely with the country's development agenda and it gives real opportunity to women and children to make their lives better. I am informed that the WISE program will contribute to the EU's Gender Action Plan and to the Sustainable Development Goal, SDGs. Those are SDGs 5, which sets to achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls, and SDG 7, which sets to ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. These are desirable development goals for our country, Sierra Leone, and we need them very much. I am also informed that WISE program in Sierra Leone is coordinated by a private sector company called Barefoot Power Africa. Barefoot Power Africa is active in other countries such as Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Rwanda. I am also informed and I am also excited by the establishment of associated women financing facilities in Sierra Leone. I am also informed that WISE is being implemented in Sierra Leone in collaboration with our Ministry of Energy and its institutions, among them the Rural Electrification Agency, Barefoot Women Solar Energy of Sierra Leone, are also going to help implement this program at chiefdom level. Let me share the possibility from this WISE program. Please, Your Excellency, you allow me to speak in my local language, please. First of all, the bank said this project we can help for the woman and we will begin to get little finances for startup their own capital. Even when you don't do in business and your business not go through, and therefore bring people in this country, you can help the woman and for educate them more, for understand how you for differentiate your business from the house and your business to be an enterprising person. Then they can help you with that. And then they give you woman there a startup capital for all this startup something. So that, for you get something where you start your life, the better because you don't get nothing where you wait for something forever. So I believe that this is now a very good initiative for me. What here they try for big all the women there. This is not a one-man crusade. This is not a lot of women there for benefits. So it will be good if the women they come into groups and start for organized cooperatives, associations then, so that when they benefit, let them benefit as a group. So that we just get one woman the benefit. One person in effect, it not will be as great as many people in effect. So it will be good for any woman they decide for begin for work together as a team and work collectively for them to achieve this. Because in that group, some people will learn how to actually make the business go before. Some people will learn how to just use the solar panels then. Some people will learn how to make sure say the establishment of the business they do them in the right way. All man gets what you're good at. So if you dey in group, everybody dey learn something differently, and then collectively when they put them into that group, definitely it will be much easier for let we achieve we goal as women then. And also we say our advice, no disrespect to the man then. We wanna set their groups then day. It will be sad if I see a woman group, we wanna say the president's now man. That could be sad. I make we call them woman groups then. When you put your group together as a woman, let woman lead them. Because when woman lead anything, it can be better. I want to also get that one day now in our mind. Like I said before, they never send people the way they can be mentors them, where they can for hand train and show we really what we for do, because we said this at the beginning. And also the only people that we don't get idea onto this solar side and the pay effort women there, where they know they do fantastic job in this country. Sometimes I envy them because I be say the way they put the energy together, they just say, imagine if we get the right tools and the right support and the right money we will need, I believe say the whole of Sierra Leone together. So we're not going to bring people in camp, or let them can do workshops, or let them can help we for make the one that we know, let them know more, the one that we they don't know, make them know, make them begin for start. In terms of the business side, then they can train the woman there for make sure so that you understand what the business they about. You know, business where you come out every day, you go sell, then the profit you can't put on a report and cook. That's not the business. And then a livelihood. But then business where you sustain, where you able to stay for yourself and you able to stay for your picking them and make sure say you come out na that hardship way, and that one day you call business. Not for everybody able to differentiate the two. So they therefore can really train the woman there, or make sure say they understand how to differentiate them to the day. And then how to use their solar panels there, what do you need them for? People then will use the solar panels for the farmers then, when I can use them for able to do irrigation, for make sure say, that every day you go to water, you can pour up your vegetables then. How many times you go for the go down the hill and come up every day, but then with this, you'll be able to get water through the solar, and see not more you get for the water, do all the work for you. They're much easier. For women, the way they use refrigerators then, with the solar panel, you know, say you always get light. If you have ice, you sell. If you have water, you sell in your community. You know, say you always get the light for able to provide that one day. For women, the way they actually try for land, beyond that, for know what IT is all about, what technology is all about, you also they get light. For the young man, then, when they get them barber shops, then, for the young man, then, when they do, then they charge people and force them. At least this all an opportunity for make sure say people that able get money out of this project here. So when they give money for startup, you begin to make money for yourself, for people look after you and your family. So I believe say this now project will for hold you to hand and actually really do it with absolute honesty and with one intention say we also want to come out from this poverty here. Now only way we the woman and determine say we know one poverty in our life again, now we come out another poverty day. So the way the people here come, and no one's for the sea, you know, one woman gets one project, say na me project, where I say, where you the other one the way you move, you don't count nobody. I want to see women then where they come together collectively as a group. I want to see young men then where they come together as a group. I want to see people that we will take the opportunity when they come for can do this mentorship here. There are a lot of people volunteer for land. Nobody know all for land. The more you learn, the more you enlighten, and then the more you remove yourself from poverty. So at this point, I'll go back to the language where we understand what the understand. I'll go back to the language where we absolutely understand, because this is a project for women from all the rural area. I think it is much important for me to explain it properly in our local dialect so that they understand what it is all about. And I won't have women queuing in front of my office to explain, and the reason being is they said, okay, when you were launching it, you actually launch it in English. So I'm saving myself that explanation, and I know every woman in this room will take this opportunity to go back and explain to their own community, to their own group. So the explanation will be faster when we do it collectively, a lot of us, than I'll be the one who had to go around the country again and explain to everybody. So that's the reason why I had to explain it this way. The benefits are enormous, and this project does not have the support. This project does have the support of our government. I can assure you that. And I want to also say here that I am very honored and privileged that you have asked me not only to be ambassador here in Sierra Leone, but for Kenya and Uganda, which means I think I'm a very loud mouth first lady. I accept that responsibility with honor. I'll call on the Barefoot Power in collaboration with our own Barefoot Women Solar Energy of Sierra Leone and with supervision of our Minister of Energy. So please provide annual reporting information for Sierra Leoneans to understand. In Sierra Leone, anything that involves money, we have to explain time and again. And I want to please applaud you guys. When that time comes, be ready to explain to the people. Because as an ambassador, I want to be sure that the money that is coming into Sierra Leone is given to the right people and it is utilized the right way for the right purposes and for the right intention. They also should particularly focus on the impact of this project on making the lives of our women. So really, it's not about collecting the money. It's about how this project will change the lives of our women. So please, don't say Mrs. Bio is the ambassador, so she needs to be the one who does it all. No. As an ambassador, my job is to become the advocate for making sure that the project is successful. But then when it comes to the implementation, you are the partners and you should be the one to make sure that implementation happens and happens the right way. At this point, I want to say I am officially launching this project whilst in Sierra Leone. Thank you for considering our beautiful nation, and we look forward to working with you. And I hope by 2022, what we'll be explaining to this nation is not through the mic, but it's through action. Thank you very much.